Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our third and final week of flexible learning. So you'll notice that I'm going to kind of continue to use the same language that the college originally used when they were describing learning that happens the week before spring break and then the 2 weeks after spring break. They officially refer to it as flexible learning. So I'm going to sort of follow that same format. Originally, these weeks were designed to get both faculty and students used to learning in an online environment. And it was also designed to give faculty a little bit of time to actually build some online content. Fortunately for us, I actually have quite a bit of experience teaching online. So I've been teaching online courses for about the past 6 or 7 years. Not every single semester, but usually at least once every other semester, sometimes more frequently than that. So I have a pretty good grasp on online courses. Of course, I'm always looking for new ideas and new ways to describe content. And I'm always looking for feedback, and you all have been very good about giving me feedback, both positive feedback, things that you like, and then also some suggestions, things that you're looking for. So I really do appreciate that. Something that I don't have experience with, and I would say most instructors at the college don't, is when it comes to lab portions of the class and trying to put a science lab online. So this is where I've sort of appreciated this flexible learning environment, because it's sort of given me some time to really think about how I can make lab activities at the very least somewhat interesting. I understand it's not going to be the same thing as if we're face to face. I understand that we're missing out on that connection with our teams and our groups, and the ability to sort of put our hands on things and to actually experience them. I totally get that. So for most of what we're going to be doing for the next several weeks, it's going to involve me giving you data of some kind. I will encourage you to get outside when I can, when the lab is appropriate, like it was for the soil labs last week. If you were able to go out and dig up some dirt, that's great. If you weren't, that's okay too. As we move forward over the next several weeks, where we transition into what's referred to as fully online teaching, there's not going to really be any differences for us. You are going to continue to see the same format. You're going to continue to see a weekly folder. It will have lecture and lab materials in it, and we will continue to use the exact same format that we have been using, where there's a lab quiz and a lecture activity that's due every week. Depending on the week, you may be required to post something on a blog or respond to a blog, but that's really going to be it. We're not going to change things dramatically as we move into sort of this last month of content. It's going to be essentially the same as what you've already seen. Before I get started into what to look for this week, I do want to say that not that I didn't enjoy your blogs before, because I certainly did, but the blogs didn't always have the more sort of personal tone to them, which is fine. A lot of you were just a little bit more, this is what we did in lab and this is what I learned, which is totally fine as well. But I find that the blogs now have become much more personal, and I think it's wonderful. I think it's really great that you all are relating what's going on in your own lives right now, and your worries and your concerns and how it makes you feel, and responding to others and relating. And I really find it to be enjoyable is not quite the word, but I really find it to be sort of affirming that you have this opportunity to kind of express these feelings, and I want you to be able to continue to do that. Again, I'm here as a casual observer, and sometimes I like to jump in with comments now, especially since I don't see you all. I'm trying to comment a little bit more on the blogs when I have the opportunity to jump in. But again, I just really wanted to say thank you all. Thank you for opening up and being honest and being upfront as far as the blog goes. I really appreciate it, and I think your classmates really appreciate it too, because we can sort of all relate to some of these feelings we're having right now. So thank you for that. Let's take a look at what we've got going on this week. This is our final week of learning for this particular unit. So we have 2 topics to discuss. We're going to be talking about nutrient cycles, or as we referred to them a long time ago in Chapter 2, biogeochemical cycles. And we're also going to be talking about biomes. So a little bit of a twist this week. I personally am not narrating any of the videos this week. So one of the comments, some feedback that I'd received from Socrative was, maybe there are some YouTube videos or some animations or some things that might help to explain some of the content in a slightly different way. I said, yeah, of course there are. Let's look into that. So for these two particular topics, I was able to find relatively short videos, especially the nutrient cycle videos. They're only 2 or 3 minutes long. They're relatively short. They give you a good visual and a good explanation of what I have here in my lecture notes. The only cycle that I didn't post a video of was the phosphorus cycle, but the phosphorus cycle is probably the easiest one to understand. So if you look in my lecture notes, you should be able to fully understand the phosphorus cycle. If there's a lot of confusion, then I can certainly post something. The biome lecture or video is a little bit long. It's about 20 minutes long, but again, lots of really great visuals and lots of really good information. So that one's a little bit longer. But again, the idea is this week you're going to get a break and you won't hear me lecturing. You'll still have my lecture notes for both chapters. So please utilize those, especially when it comes to preparing for next week's exam. And then the assignment this week is a graphic organizer. So this is something that we did when we were talking about renewable and non-renewable energy, if you remember. So I have another one of these for you. And this one is breaking down each of the cycles. So we've got carbon, water, nitrogen, and phosphorus. And what you'll do is you're just going to write a little bit about each of these. So hydrologic is the same thing as the water cycle. So you'll tell me a little bit about what it is. You're going to tell me what living things, so organic means living things, what living things have water in them and that are part of the water cycle, what non-living things have water in them and how are they part of the water cycle. And then you can sort of just briefly describe how things move from one thing to the next, and then how humans are impacting that cycle. So if I did the water cycle, for example, the description is something simple like, this is how water moves on our planet. Very brief, right? Living things that contain water. All living things, right? So we have plants, we have animals, we are parts of the water cycle ourselves, right? We drink water, plants take in water, so living things have water in them. Inorganic substances, right? You would have the air, the atmosphere has water droplets in it. You would have bodies of water, things like oceans and lakes and rivers and streams, okay? And then the steps are the processes. So how does it get from one step to the next? So here's where we'd use a little vocabulary, right? We would talk about precipitation is moving the water from the atmosphere down to the ground. And evaporation is moving water from the ground up into the atmosphere, right? So we could kind of put those steps in there. And then the human impacts. What are we doing to the water cycle? We're using too much fresh water, right? We're polluting it, we're whatever. Okay, that's the idea. So you'll do this for all 4 of these cycles. And then when you're finished, what I'd like you to do is you're going to post it. You're not going to turn it into me like through the assignment link or email me. You're going to actually just post it to this Padlet. So let me pop it open here. If you guys remember Padlets, we've used them in the past. We've used a Padlet. We used it for a group activity, but here's the Padlet. And what you'll do is you can double click anywhere in the box, okay? And you'll type your name. So let's say I'm Sam Brown. And then you can upload. So you can upload your picture of your file, or if you typed right into the document, you can upload the document. It doesn't matter. But anyway, you will upload it and then you will hit enter and it will be on my screen. So I'm just going to write something, nutrients, okay? And then we click off of it and ta-da, it's there for everyone to see. That's the idea. So Very, very simple. If for some reason it's not working out for you, posting on the Padlet, that's fine. You can still email it to me. That's perfectly fine. So if this doesn't work for you, you don't have to use it, but it is also a nice way to sort of collectively see how everyone else is sort of doing with the Padlet. So you can also kind of look at it and compare yours to theirs and be like, oh, they included something that I didn't, or you know, that was, oh, I needed a little bit more help on phosphorus. It was really good to read, you know, Sue's, because now I understand a little bit more. So the idea here is we're kind of collectively sharing our thoughts and ideas. That's what the Padlet is for. So that is the class assignment. And then, oops, hold on, I'll get to that in just a minute. And then the other thing is our lab, of course. So going back to our lab materials here, this week's lab, I've already given you the overview of what it is. So here's your video overview, the written instructions on what you need to do, and then all of the data that you need, as well as the lab quiz. Please remember that our lab quizzes are based on the previous week's lab, just like they were in class. So you'll need information from the soil lab in order to take this lab quiz. All right, and then just a couple other quick things to point out. So thank you for all of those of you who are participating in the Eco Challenge. Remember, it's not too late if you still want to participate. This is a great way to make an impact for this month. So you sort of pick a goal and you hopefully do that as many times as you can this month. Don't worry if you don't meet your challenge every day. It's not a big deal. But this is just a summary of our team. Right now we've got 21 team members. I'm the captain and I also have a dummy account on here. But look at all the great things we're doing. We're not spending time in front of a screen. We're composting waste. We're having conversations with people. We're not using plastic straws. We're saving lots of carbon dioxide because, you know, we're all kind of stuck at home anyway. But eating meatless meals and picking up litter and just doing some really great things. So I wanted to say thank you for everyone who's participating. Please remember that when you can, not only do you need to pick your challenges, but you also need to check in. So don't forget to check in, because checking in is important too. So when you do your challenges, oh, hold on, let me come here to my dashboard. When you come to your dashboard and you've got my challenges and it shows you your challenges, make sure you actually click on these if you've done them that day. If you haven't done them that day, that's okay, but check in every time you do these because that's how I know you're actually participating. Otherwise, I just see that you've signed up, but I don't really know you're participating. And I want to make sure you're participating in order to earn those extra credit points. So thank you for everyone who's doing this. Again, if you want more information, it's under Assignments Extra Credit on Blackboard. One last thing to point out, I also started using Flipgrid. So I totally stole this idea from one of my kids' teachers. But again, the idea was there were a lot of people who were talking about missing each other, right? Like I miss seeing my classmates and I miss that personal interaction. So what I've done then is I've created a space on Flipgrid where we can actually do that by sharing videos with each other. So right now I have two topics. I will be adding a third. The first is just a general hello. So you can make a video and say, hi, you know, it's me. This is what I've been doing, or whatever it happens to be. The next one I did actually is share your pets with us. So I love pets, and most people love pets too. There is a password for this. So the password is biology 2020. Okay, that way random people don't post videos here. But come and share your pets with us. So you can watch my little video. This is my little dog, Toby. You can learn a little bit more about him if you want. And then what you would do is add your own video. So you would click on the plus button and tell us about your pet, your furry pet, or your scaly or leathery or feathery or whatever kind of pet you have. So if you just want to share it with us, this is just kind of something fun to add to things so that we can see and interact with each other a little bit more. Next week, what I'll be doing is I will be adding an option to post vlog videos. So vlog is a video log versus a web log, which is what we've been doing. So if for your blogging assignment you would rather post a video, you can do that as long as you talk about what you would talk about in your video the same way as you would write it out in a blog, you can do this. The other kind of nice thing about this is you can respond to other people with videos. So if someone posts a video blog, or vlog as we call them, on here, there's an option for you to click respond, and you can record a video of you responding to them. And so that would be responding to the blogs. So if we have enough people participate, we can have sort of these videos back and forth with each other. So you don't have to do it. It's just, again, a way that we're trying to foster a little bit more communication. I know other courses and other instructors and Zoom meetings have become very, very popular. I won't be doing those. The matter is, or the way that I look at it is that this is all a challenge enough just to do what you need to do online every week. I can't expect you all to be in the same place at the same time just to listen to me talk. So I'm not really big on the Zoom idea. So these videos, at least you can leave a video and then post it when you can, and someone else can watch it when they're able to. So I prefer sort of what we call this asynchronous method. Asynchronous just means we're not viewing something at the same time. We're viewing it when we can. So that's the preferred way that I will be doing things. So I think that basically covers it for this week. Once again, I will be sending out more information in a separate email probably tomorrow with further instructions about the exam next week. We are still going to have our exam next week, but I'm going to give you all week to take it. There won't be anything sort of pressing that we need to do next week. So I'm going to give you lots of time to get that done, and I'm going to greatly scale back other things that we're going to be expected to do, just so that you have that time to focus on the exam, because that's going to be my preference. But I'll be sending out more information about that, like I said, probably on Tuesday. So once again, as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and you'll hear more from me soon. Thanks, everyone.